Well, we just got going this morning on our Gulf crossing and had a little bit of excitement. One of our buddy boats, as we came out of the anchorage, ran aground. As we were leaving, the tide was coming down and kind of cut the corner a little close, I think, around a shoal. And we had to wake him a couple times to break him loose, but now we are heading out into the Gulf right now. So we are on our way, and it's looking really nice out here, smooth as glass, but we're not quite out there yet.
Hi, we're Mark and Mel. After raising 4 amazing daughters who are now raising our 12 grandchildren and helping people on land in the real estate business for over 30 years, we're now realizing our goal of a year-long adventure cruising America's Great Loop on our boat Paradise. This is a 6,000-mile journey through waterways that include the Atlantic and Gulf intercoastal waterways, Great Lakes, Canadian heritage canals, and inland rivers of America's Midwest cities. Join us as we navigate over 100 locks, explore cities large and small, and experience an unforgettable journey through America's Great Loop.
We are about 5 miles out into the Gulf, not out of sight of land yet. We've got our 1 foot waves, or 1 foot or a little less, coming from our starboard side, kind of catching us in the beam. So we are rocking and rolling back and forth a little bit, but that should improve. Not too far ahead here, and just about 3 to 5 miles, we're gonna take a turn to the port side, and those rollers, those waves, should be more on our stern. That should help the ride a little bit. We're about 2 hours into our Gulf crossing, and it's not too bad. rocking and rolling back and forth, as you can probably see in the video. As long as you're sitting in your seat, it's not bad. The sun's peeking through a little bit. Might actually get kind of warm in here inside the isinglass if the sun beats on it a little bit. All things considered, going to be a pretty nice day, and it should improve a little bit. The wind is going to die down a little bit as we get into the noonish time, so that should be good as well. Can you say halfway?
Halfway.
That's where we're at. We're halfway.
Yay.
We are halfway across the Gulf of Mexico, or at least the section we're crossing. We haven't seen land in a couple hours. And there's our chart. And we started right there. And our destination is right there. And we're right there. Halfway across our voyage of about right at 70 miles. Woohoo! And out there is our lead buddy boat, a little more than a quarter mile out front. And we've got one more behind us, about the same distance behind us. In fact, you can see them here on the radar screen. This little dot right there is the boat in front of us, and that little dot right there is our buddy boat that's behind us. Yeah, we've got all the latest technology from 1994 right there. And all things considered, it's been pretty pleasant out here. Little rocking and rolling, but not too bad.
If it's nice and soft, like I think it is, no harm will come of it. Let it sit there for a while. Don't start anything in case any mud got into anything. Let the tide clean it out a bit, and then start it up later. Unless you need your generator. If you need your generator so your batteries don't go down, you could start that.
Yeah, we
You
shouldn't
got
be.
a full keel on it?
No, our keel stops just ahead of the props.
Okay.
But the keel, the deepest part of the keel, is right at the same level as the bottom of the props. So
you're probably sitting on the keel, and your through holes should be up out of the mud.
yeah, I'm fairly certain of that. Fairly
So you
certain of
should be
that.
all set.
But I'm not going to do anything. We're not going to need to start the generator because the sun's shining and our solar should get us through the rest of the
Oh,
day.
good. Oh, beautiful. Didn't know you had the solar. Good. Yep, I would just sit there and wait.
Okay.
It's going to be this full moon tide that are affecting us.
So I'm just learning this, I guess. So full moon makes the tide swing more in each direction, higher and
Yes.
lower. Okay.
That's correct. Yep. So you get a higher current during those times, and you get higher tides and lower tides.
I did notice. I looked at the tide height for the next, through the next low tide later today, and it's, if I'm reading it correctly, it should be about a foot, 1.3 or 1.4 feet deeper than this low tide was this morning. So
You mean lower?
No, more depth. We should have more water depth at the
Oh,
next
okay.
low tide.
So not as severe as this one.
Right, yeah.
Good. Yep, I would just say, go about your day like you normally would, and you'd be fine at the end of it.
Yeah, when we first saw the depth getting really low, I actually went out to the windlass and I pulled in 50 feet of anchor. I've only got 25 feet out now. I didn't want to go any shorter than that just to pull us away from the shore, but that didn't help completely.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, I don't think you'll get hurt at all. I think you just gotta wait it out.
Okay, I appreciate the advice. Thank you.
Oh, you betcha.
Take care.
Thanks. Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There's 4.4 feet now.
Well, that's good.
But the thing is, that sensor is probably 6 feet or more in front of the props. So the props are closer to shore. The props are in shallower water.
Oh.
And when I put the pole down at the end of the swim step, which is probably 4 feet or so behind the props, it was 3.5 feet. So figure four. So it was definitely less than 4 feet. Definitely less than 4 feet where the props are right now.
So this is the thing that everybody said to be concerned with, is where you end up, and depending on what the tides end up doing here.
But when we got here, those two guys wrapped it up, our buddy boats, they wrapped it up together, and they expressed concern about having 3 abreast back there for fear there wouldn't be enough room to swing without bottoming out. So that's why we came up here. But when we anchored, we had about 8.5, 9 feet of water, but that has changed dramatically. So,
Yeah, because of the full moon being even more of a thing to consider. So that's good to know.
yeah, well, good news is that the next low tide we should have a foot, 1.3 to 1.4 feet more depth in the same spot at the next low tide later today. So
Gotcha. When is the next low tide?
it is 4 p.m. today.
You mean high tide?
I'm sorry.
High tide.
Man.
Yeah, high tide.
The next high tide is
4
4 p.m. today. The next low tide,
It's gotta
this
be.
doesn't show it. This
Gotta be
doesn't
early in the
show.
morning.
It's going to be in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
But it showed on Windy to be 1.3 to 1.4 feet deeper than this last low tide, which was in the last hour.
Do you think we should, because if we want to leave early in the morning, the next day when this weather's done, should we go to the marina?
No, we don't have to, because the tide's going to be closer to a high tide tomorrow. It's going to be much deeper here tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
At the time we leave.
Okay, because there won't be a full moon.
So, yeah, starting tomorrow, if we leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be about 3 hours before low tide. And low tide will be, so figure we're going to have probably 2 feet more depth than we have right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
And we'll also have lighter winds. We'll be swung back out downstream, which is going to be deeper naturally anyway.
Yeah. They're swinging the right way.
Yeah,
We're sideways.
If it weren't for the bottom, we would be
We would-
pointing in the same direction they're pointing.
Yep. We're perpendicular. Look at that.
Into a little over 8 feet of water.
Hallelujah! We are swinging back around, yay! Oh my gosh, that was scary.
I wasn't scared at all.
Well, I was. Now we're swinging with them though. Yay!
There's 9 feet of water right here.
That was a weird sound when it broke loose.
Oh, you heard it?
Oh yeah, it went downstairs, down below. It went.
Oh, just scraping against the mud.
It didn't sound. Yeah, it was scraping against the mud. It didn't sound horrible. It's just that I can hear things down there really clearly.
Straight cruising, headed for a bruising, watching out for number one. You gotta slow down and look around you, son. Today is just today and not tomorrow. Where you're going, you can rest your head. Where you're going, brightness looks big. Where you're going, truth cannot be hid. You gotta get going. Easy now, you gotta get going. Easy now. Hard working so you can be deserving of the rest that you are given. You gotta slow down and look around you, son. Give a lot and live a little. Work with what you got. Where you're going, you can rest your head. Where you're going, brightness looks big. Where you're going, truth cannot be hid. You gotta get going. Easy now, you gotta get going. Easy now. Get along, give a hand, sleep heavy, be the man. Just there, where you are, do something, be the star. You gotta get going. Easy now, you gotta